Preparing. Okay, here we go.
Hello out there in television land. This is the Hutton family, the daughters of Harold and Beverly Hutton. And I'm going to tell you, I'm the oldest daughter, Bev, and I'm going to tell you my very first memories. And they go back to Pocatello, Idaho, when Dad was going into the Navy during World War II. And I remember it was dark, it was at night, and I remember everybody crying, and I was confused. And then the next thing I remember is being in a little town called Anacortes, Washington. We were in a little Navy base cabin where Mom cooked actually on an old wooden stove like you see in the Western movies. And my job was to go out and had a little bucket, and I collected the wood in the big, had to crawl in underneath a little door thing to collect wood and bring it back so Mom could fix dinner on this. It was just Joanne and me, and of course Dad.
And how old were you then?
Three-ish, three, probably going on four. Yeah, almost four. It's going to four. And I remember meeting a little girl. None of us had toys there. It was just nothing. It was very gray, because that was always foggy there. That's why. This little girl came over about my age, and we didn't have any toys, but there were dirt mounds and rocks, and we were just making little roads in this dirt pile, and using the rocks as cars, and just meeting each other, you know. And she asked me, she said, "Do you like Jews?" And I looked down and I said, "Do you?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, I do too." So when I got home, I said, "Mom, what's Jew? A Jew?" And she explained in her little calm manner that she always was, you know, that these are people like us, and it's their religion and their beliefs. And then I, you know, forgot about that and never thought about it again. And then the next, I remember, this was after, from Anacortes, Washington, we went back to Pocatello. Oh, that's right.
To stay with Grandma.
Barbie, right, but Barbie always thought that...
I always said I was conceived in California.
In San Francisco.
In San Francisco, because they were both born in San Francisco.
Yeah. And I remember...
But I was born in Idaho. But I said, well, I'm a
months
California girl because I was conceived in California.
And I'm thinking now as an adult, we're in Anacortes, Washington. And then we're going to Pocatello in the winter. I have pictures of us in Pocatello in the winter. I'm thinking, oh, Barbie?
No, it was Anacortes, Washington.
So you're conceived in Washington then?
Yeah.
Oh.
Much better than California.
All these years she's been telling us that she was conceived in San Francisco.
I've always said that, because they were born in San Francisco. I said, well, I was conceived in San Francisco. But I wasn't.
No.
So was I conceived? San Mateo?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad.
No, San Francisco, man.
We're getting pretty private here, girls. Cut it out. So then the next thing is, I remember Joanna and I are in our snowsuits, in our little snow boots, and Mom's up on the second floor in the hospital in Pocatello, holding up our little baby sister, Barbie, in the window.
So far away.
Yeah.
And we do have a picture of you too.
Yeah.
In your snowsuits.
How cute.
Jumping up and down.
So then the next memory is Dad and I going to San Francisco on the train after the war. This was after the war ended. And because he had to get a job, there was no jobs in Pocatello, and I had to start kindergarten in September. So, and I remember vividly all these Army guys in uniforms, and they were so sweet. They would buy me ice cream, because I was just a little girl there with all these men.
Traveling on the train.
Traveling to wherever the train ends up, you know, to go to San Francisco, to meet Grandma and Grandpa Hutton, who were managing 730 Powell Street. And, the memories of 730 Powell. Oh, I slept on the couch. That was my bed. While Grandma and Grandpa Hutton had the Murphy bed. Uncle Raymond and David, who was their kind of adopted son, was a good high school friend of Uncle Ray's, who was like orphaned or something. They had the
took him
bedroom. Yeah, they took
I
him in.
remember I was so afraid of that man, that Asian guy.
Oh gosh.
He
Oh,
scared me.
yeah.
I'd
That
hide
was
under
John.
the table.
That was
That was
His
John.
name was John. He was the
John.
maintenance
He was
man.
probably
Oh,
really
he was the
sweet, but he had
manager.
these really long teeth.
They were the
Kinda
managers,
scared
Grandma and
me.
Grandpa. He was the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
And every time he came in, you would just scream.
I know.
And
He
you
scared
watched
me.
him poor guy.
He brought it
But that was after she was born.
Debbie, poor guy.
No, he was very scary.
What
Yeah.
about the
He
laundry
did have a
chute?
scary
You said
look.
something about laundry chute.
We used to, well,
No, that was
No,
the
that's
we
the
were older
rooftop.
when we do that.
And wasn't there a neighbor there you remember as well, or is that a
Mrs.
different?
Mrs. Shaw, right.
Because we moved in.
But that was after, so Mom came back down with Barbie and Joanne, and then we rented on the third floor. We had our own little apartment, not living with Grandma and Grandpa Hutton anymore. And and then I started kindergarten, and
Was that at Notre Dame, David?
Notre
Robb?
Dame de Vitois, right, and kindergarten, and we have pictures of all of us on the rooftop. That was our playground. We actually
On the
literally
roof.
played on the rooftop.
Did they have a thing where you wouldn't fall over?
No.
Oh,
Well,
They
there
did.
was-
There was one little fence, but the outside there was no fence. On the
Wow.
front part,
Oh my God.
I mean, there was.
falling into the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a diaper crawling around on the roof. Mom used to hang up the laundry.
I remember that.
Bev would
I have
watch,
pictures.
Bev would watch out for us to make sure it didn't crawl over to the
Yeah.
But we
edge
used to
and
lean
fall
over.
over.
We used to lean over the edge of the apartment,
Oh my
looking down
And spit.
and spit.
Oh my
And threw pennies too.
Yeah.
And we were so
remember-
young.
I remember in the bedroom there at 730 Powell, I don't know why, what possessed me, but I had a glass on my mouth and I had the urge to bite it and I bit the glass and
I remember that.
yeah,
Oh no.
and it was in my mouth. I don't know why. Everybody's freaking out.
You were hungry?
Yeah.
But when we were a little older, we used to get on all three of the floors and yell to each other through the garbage
I-
chutes.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. The
Yeah.
glass or something.
We would scream down to the,
Can
can you hear
that
me?
smell
I
when
can
you
hear
push
you.
that
We'd
button?
yell.
Beep,
Oh, you couldn't roller skate or ride a bike. You're on a hill.
And then we would
No.
we would slide down the
Something to do.
banister, which we thought was huge
Yeah.
until we saw it when we were adults, and it's not that
Not
big.
that big.
But
And I only have one memory from that, and that is when, of course, we were living in San Lorenzo at that time, so we must have been visiting
Visiting.
Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
And Grandpa would always put, my grandpa would put newspapers under the doors because he was the manager. And I said, oh, I want to do that. So I remember he was walking behind me and I was shoving him under the door and his little hands were behind him. He's walking real slowly. I happened to look back and I see his little foot kick
Oh.
the newspaper farther underneath, and I thought to myself, what a sweet man. He doesn't want to tell me I'm doing it wrong.
That's what he was too.
He was
And
a
that's the
sweetheart.
only memory I have of my grandfather. That's it.
I do have a memory too. I just thought of earlier when I turned 8. Grandpa took me all over San Francisco. I remember getting on the cable car with him to find a little tiny stuffed animal. It was a little lamb. We finally found it at Macy's. Went all over well, probably didn't go all over. Probably went to
Was
two
it Easter
stores when I
time,
was
do you
8.
think?
What?
Was it Easter time, maybe?
Probably.
Well, it was my birthday.
And you
So
wanted a
it's
little
October.
lamb.
And I don't know, I
Was it
settled on
Easter
this
time
little
then?
lamb. I had it for years. I don't know now. But
Oh,
he was so quiet and like you say, hands behind his back.
Sweet,
Wow.
sweet man.
and he used to walk up the hill, 730 Powell zigzag,
Yeah.
and we would follow
behind.
him, Bev, Joanne, and I,
How cute.
with our hands behind
Oh,
our
yeah.
back, single
I
file.
wish you would have gotten a
And
picture of
The,
that.
the people in the apartment across, they used to call our grandma and say, oh my gosh, that is just the cutest thing
I
we've
bet
ever
that's
seen.
adorable.
Just watching all of
bet
us,
that
was-
all three
They
of
didn't
us.
have videos of
Like
those
little
days, how
ducklings.
adorable.
That would have been an amazing video today.
Yeah.
And speaking,
Very sweet.